Hi everyone, welcome to this new lesson. We have here two young men, Badr and Jamal. Badr has something to tell Jamal. He tells him, "Hi Jamal, I've got some splendid news for you. I passed the baccalaureate exam." And Jamal replies, "Really? I'm glad to hear that. Congratulations." And Badr, "Thanks, bro. If somebody told you that you passed the baccalaureate exam, of course, to pass the baccalaureate exam means to succeed. In Arabic, اجتياز امتحانات البكالوريا بنجاح. Is this a good news or a bad news? Would you be happy or sad? Of course you would be happy. So this is a good news. What about this one? Jamal asks, "What about our friend Nizar? Did he pass? Did he pass the exam?" And Badr, "Oh, I'm sorry to have to say this, but he failed." And Jamal, "I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he'll do better next time." Now, if somebody told you that your friend did not pass the baccalaureate exam, he failed, would you be happy or sad for him? I think you'd be sad. So is this a good news or a bad news? Well, I think it's a bad news. So our lesson today is about giving a bad or good news and responding or to a good or bad news. And after watching this video, you will be able to give and respond to good news using appropriate expressions, and the same for bad news. Now let's go back to Jamal and Badr. Badr delivered a good news. He gave a good news, but what is the expression he used? "I've got some splendid news for you." Splendid means good or wonderful. And how did Jamal respond? What is the expression he used? "I'm glad to hear that." Glad means happy. What about the bad news? What is the expression Badr used to deliver the bad news? He said, "I'm sorry to have to say this, but." I'm sorry to have to say this, but. And how did Jamal respond to this bad news? He said, "I'm sorry to hear that." He also used "I'm sorry." يؤسفني سماع ذلك. So these are some expressions we use to give a bad or good news, and expressions to respond to a bad or a good news. Of course, there are many other expressions. Here are some of them. And here is a table. Now what you have to do is you pause the video and do this exercise. You put these expressions under the right category. And here are the answers. Now you take your lessons notebook, you pause the video, and you copy these words or these expressions into your lessons notebook. Unit 8, functions. After you finish copying, it's time for practice. This man brings you this piece of news. He says, "Have you heard the news? Mr. Lutfi had a terrible accident." Mr. Lutfi is someone you know. Is this a good news or a bad news? You decide and you write your response here. Number 2, this is your little sister. Your little sister said, I won a contest in my school and the teacher gave me a prize." Is this a bad news or a good news from your sister? You decide and you write your answer. 3. This man says, WHO has announced that no vaccination against coronavirus is available for the time being. I hope you remember this abbreviation from the previous lesson, international organizations. Do you remember what WHO stands for? Okay, go back to the previous lesson. Is this a bad news or a good news? Again, you write your answer. The last one. Your grandfather said, "Your parents will buy you a car if you get your baccalaureate degree with an excellent mark." Will you be happy to get this car? So, if you want this car, you write your answer. And thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.